Hello there, welcome aboard. Nigel with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe down there and get yourself joined up. It's free, it costs you absolutely nothing, and hit the notifications bell and you'll get notified of whenever I put out any new videos. So this video that you're about to watch was, well, most of it was recorded August last year. So, and it's going to be the 1st of July next Tuesday. So it's nearly a year old. It's just over 11 months old. So basically, you will see in the video that there were some faults in the model. So what I did, I thought I'd get in touch with Nigel at Hannants and ask for a contact for Anigrand, which he gave me, and I've forgotten the guy's name now, I'm sorry. So I got in touch with him. And he came back to me and he said, I have looked at these parts and the moulds have passed their life. So I'm making new moulds. So not only did he make new moulds, but he also completely redesigned the parts. So stick around, have a look at the video. You'll see the new stuff is a green background. Sorry, the new stuff is a blue background, like my new blue mat, and the old stuff is the green background with the uncovered mat. So you'll be able to easily see which is which, and you'll be able to tell which is me talking today and me talking a year ago, because today I'm wearing an RTR t-shirt and nearly a year ago I was wearing a Harley t-shirt. So yeah, so there you go. I think it's a bit brighter as well, and I think maybe I had the camera facing the other way. I tend to do things this way now. So yeah, have a look, enjoy, and if you want to get yourself one, go and order one from Hannants, and perhaps if the parts aren't any good, write to Anigrand and they'll send you a set of new ones. But yeah, it looks like they've really upped their game, to be honest, because I expect you've all seen reviews of Anigrand models where people have had flaws and faults and corrected them and everything. But it just shows that if you reach out to these companies and say this, you know, you're not happy with this, they will respond 9 times out of 10, and Anigrand have absolutely blown me away. Wait till you see what they did. Hello everybody, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and I've got another review for you today, and as you can tell from the title, it's a resin kit. Now, this month, well, next month anyway, this sort of period of the year, it could be quite a sad time for some US Air Force fans. As some of you will know, I have a little tiny small amount of passion for the KC-135, the tanker, which isn't a Boeing 707, by the way. So yeah, so the US Air Force since 1955, is it, have been using the KC-135, or 1954 even. And here's a picture of it now, refueling. I think it's an F-16, it's refueling there. Obviously I'm talking now and then putting the photo in later. And then, yeah, so KC-135, and they've also had the KC-10, this picture here, which is based on a DC-10 30 from back in the 80s. I actually went on a DC-10 once, and I was very, very disappointed. It would have been around about 77. I went to Florida in 76, 77 and 79, I think. So it would have probably been 77. I don't think it was 76, because I've got pictures of a British Airways 747 taking off. But I can remember telling all my friends, I'm going on a British Airways 747. I'm going on a 747. Remember, they hadn't been out that long then. And I was, yeah, absolutely gutted to find that my flight or the aircraft had been taken to one side, and they had borrowed an Air New Zealand DC-10, or however it worked in those days. So all of us British Airways passengers were waiting there, and we got put on buses and taken out onto the airfield and walked up steps into an Air New Zealand KC-10. It's only after that I discovered that there was that tragic accident where one went into a hillside. I don't know if that was the aircraft I was actually on. I didn't get the serial number, and obviously I was on my own. I was a kid. I was, what would I have been, 13, 14. And yeah, I didn't think to get the serial number of the aircraft. I should have taken a picture of it, shouldn't I? But unfortunately I didn't have my iPhone on me, because we didn't have them then. That's how easy things are these days. So so yeah, I was very, very disappointed to be going on a DC-10 instead of a 747, because 747 is still my favourite airliner out of all of them. And but I must admit, when I got there, my dad wasn't very happy either that I'd been put on a DC-10 because he wouldn't have gone on it. And yeah, I was very surprised at how comfortable it was. It was about the time they had all the implosions from the cargo doors failing. And then they had one, didn't they, where the fan on the engine went, didn't it? And that severed all the hydraulic lines going to the tail. They had that one actually crashed, didn't it, and tumbled down the runway. That was American Airlines, wasn't it? And then they had one that the port engine literally flipped up and over the wing on takeoff and took all the hydraulic lines out with it. And the airframe just, I mean, it's terrible track record, that aircraft, awful. So anyway, it became the KC-10, and the US Air Force bought 60 of them. One of them crashed, a non-repairable crash, but the other 59 have been used all the way, I think 84 they started, and they've been using them all the way up to current day. Then the US Air Force decided they needed an option because obviously KC-135 is getting old now. I mean, the newest aircraft is 1965, so what's that, 58 years old, 59 years old? So yeah, that's the newest aircraft. It's like the newest B-52 is a year older than me. So yeah, they've been given 68 years service, the KC-135, and out of the 800 built, still more than half of them are still flying. And they were built from 1955 to 1965, as I say. So yeah, so you've got the KC-135, you've got the KC-10, and you've got brand new KC-46 Pegasus, which is based on a 767, I believe, maybe a 777. I think it's a 767. Don't know much about it, not really very interested in it. It's modern, in it. But basically, they had to decide which one to get rid of because they only wanted to have two. Guess which one they decided? The KC-10. The newest aircraft they've got on their fleet of tankers, and they got rid of it because the KC-135 is obviously the better option. I guess the thing is they only had 60 KC-10s. They still got 400 odd KC-135s flying, so I guess it's the obvious option. So yeah, they've got the KC-46, which is based on a 767, so spares availability and everything's going to be great. You're not talking specialists like a C-5A is a specialist aircraft. An A400 is a specialist aircraft, but all this other stuff, like we've got the wedge tail and the Poseidon I've reviewed recently. You've got those are based on 737, 700s and 800s. What I don't know with the KC-10 is if it was actually taken from existing airliners and converted or built new. I guess there's going to be somebody in the comments who's going to know, because somebody's going to be watching this that's worked on that aircraft and will know. But it's very interesting reading about the E7 Wedgetail, because that aircraft, a couple of them have been built from existing, like some are 10 years old 737s airliners converted into a E7A Wedgetail, and then some are built from brand new aircraft. But even the brand new aircraft are still production passenger airliners taken off the line. So they've still got their heritage in the passenger airliner. The Poseidon, I believe the fuselage is dedicated. It's not a converted airliner, because it has lots and lots of differences on it. So I believe the Poseidon is built as a Poseidon from new. So yeah, so the KC-10 is going to go. So I had to get one. Now I know that up at Fairford this year they had a KC-10 which was beautiful, and I sort of had a lump in my throat when I saw the captain saying that was his final flight in that aircraft. He was taking it back home and that was it. And apparently by the end of September they will have all gone to the boneyard. So big shame, big shame. But hey, times move on. So lo and behold, 2 weekends ago I went to Avon for the model show on the Sunday, and looking at the Strategic Air Command SIG group, they had a 1/72nd scale KC-10 there, and it was a VAC-4 model. And I sort of asked one of them, do you know anything about the Anigrand kit? And they were like, apparently it's all right. Well, I'd look online and I only found a couple of builds. One I think is on Brit Modeler and another one was somewhere else. And they both said it was absolutely disastrous. It was all twisted and bowed and bent and God knows what. So I thought, sod it, let's go get one. So here it is. So this is the Anigrand 1/72nd scale KC-10. As you can see, we're off to a great start, just like Mach 2. We've got a cardboard box with a sticker on it. No expense spared. Look at that fantastic, really expensive label on the end there. So yeah, we've got no expense spared in the packaging whatsoever. But it's obviously well packed, so there shouldn't be any damage in there. It's 100% resin. There's no photo etch or anything. There's no super detailing. It's going to, I haven't even looked in it yet. It's going to be very, very simple. From what I've seen of Anigrand kits, it's going to have like one A4 sheet of instructions, one A4 sheet of colour callouts in black and white. That's it. And everything is resin. So even the clear parts are resin. So I don't know what they're going to be like. But I thought I'd get it because Hannah's only had 2 in stock. I'm not sure the situation is with the company or whatever, but there she is. Big old bird that she is. So I've never built a complete resin kit before, so I thought maybe let's have a go and see how it comes out. It says here, not suitable for children under 14 years. I have a feeling that after a few hours of working on this, most men will have a mental age of 14 years. I think it'll drive you absolutely around the bend. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the bench and see what this kit is like. Hope you enjoyed that bit of waffle, by the way, and hope you enjoyed the pictures. So any information you've got, be gratefully received. Always interested to hear proper stories from people on the front line. Right, guys, so here she is. Very surprised at how small this box is. It's only, what is it, 15? Yeah, 15 and a quarter by, what's that, 9 3/4 by, what, 4 inches? So it's very small, so you know, if you want to get one delivered, it comes as a small package. It came beautifully packaged from Hannah's. It was all wrapped in paper and everything in a nice big cardboard box, so they are very good with their packaging at Hannah's. So anyway, let's have a look inside here. As I say, I've never built, I do know a bit about resin, as you all know. I've never built a full resin kit. Obviously I've used resin conversions. Just bear in mind, if you are thinking about this, the hazards. Resin is lethal. When you sand it, the dust, you breathe it in, it's full of cyanacrylates and stuff, and it is very, very bad for you. You must either sand it wet or cut it so you don't get the shavings in the air, you know, the dust in the air. Use an extractor and or a mask. Do as much as you can outside. You know, this thing is not sort of built for the winter. You need to be doing it out in the garage, sanding it out in the garage and stuff, if you're going to be sanding big seams, because you really don't want to be breathing this stuff in. So as suspected, here we have, so it's kit number AA2094. So there is our absolutely amazing colour call out. You can see our decal placements here. So we've got this is 86, this plane will be. 60033, so that'll be a 1986 aircraft. So it's the 60th Air Mobility Wing, 349th Air Mobility Wing. So there we go. Very, very nice indeed. Dark ghost grey overall. I'm guessing that's XF54, isn't it? Same as gunship grey. Have to look that up. And here you can see the absolutely concise, very, very detailed instructions. You can see here the fuselages are already together, and here I guess it's going to be in halves. You've got a top antenna there, you've got the loadmaster seat, pilot's control stick, you've got the canopy going on, so the cockpit looks quite simple. We could add a bit of detail to that, I expect, because it's got big windows. So we've got the tail and the sail stand, tail and the sail bottom, and then tail and the sail top and fin, so I'm guessing they're all separate parts. And then we've got the fans for the intakes of the engines. We've got the engines going together there. Here's our fuel boom. We've actually got detail inside here for the operator. That's quite cool. I thought from video I've seen there was 3 seats in the back there. Maybe that's just for training. And then we've got the flap hinge fairings here. We've got the engine mounting pylon. Nose gear doors coming up like up the side. We've got our main undercarriage there. We've got the central gear there, which makes it a DC 1030. Something I did see on Brit Model, it looks like they've got something wrong on here. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Starboard 4 fuselage, port 4 fuselage. Well, never. I would never have guessed that with fuselage sections there. So there's the instructions. Decal sheet here, which is extremely comprehensive. I wish they'd given you 2 so you had a chance to mess one up. You've got this down here. I'm assuming this is Chinese. Does it say made in China anywhere? I don't know if it's Chinese or Korean. It doesn't say on there, and it doesn't say on the end label. I thought it had to say where it came from. There's no stickers, no hazard warnings, no nothing. So very strange. I'm surprised you're allowed to sell it. So there we go. So US Air Force, we got all our low vis marks there, but Cord Air Base, got the fuel filler there. Just make sure you don't mess any of this up. But you should be able to get other 72nd scale decals if you do. The US Air Force and the stars and bars and that should all be the same. So here we are confronted with a load of bubble wrap. So what's in here? So this will be like an unusual review, because normally we take everything out of the box and look sprue by sprue. So what we're going to do here is take everything out of the box and look bag by bag. So we'll get rid of that bubble wrap there. Right, so here we have a bag of engine parts. So I'm not going to open any of these up at the moment. But we can see we have, this is our engine top and bottom here. So we've got the intakes, which are radiused off around the front. You can see the front of the intake there. It's radiused around nicely, so that'll be nice to sand. They've got the actual mould plug on the front rather than the back, which is probably better than having it on the front, on the back. It's easier to sand that around. And then we've got the tail mounted engine there again with the radiused intakes you can see there. But some quite heavy panel lining. I can't see any mismoulding, no bubbles, no nothing. It's very nice indeed. Very crisp, and it all seems pretty flat and untwisted and unwarped. So here we've got another bag. They like to seal these bags up like this, do they? So here we've got tail planes and fin, I'm guessing. So we've got the elevators nicely marked out. We've got all the panel lines there. Very nice. We've got a bag of undercarriage parts here, and then we've got our clear canopy there. I hope that's more windows. So they've got the clear canopy there, and they've got other bits of clear resin just floating around with it to scratch it, which is nice. There's lots of little round bits and pieces in there as well, but it's all just chucked in one bag. So I think what we will do, we will get that out and have a look and see what it looks like, because I don't want to leave it in like that, because that is not the way to pack clear parts, guys. Especially not when the kit costs over £100. So we've got undercarriage legs here, which look to be moulded in some sort of nylon. I don't know if there's a wire rod running through them or what, but they're beautifully done. Very nicely detailed. Obviously they could do with some lines and stuff, but very nicely done, very crisp. And then in here we have our main gear, again very crisp, very sharp, very nicely moulded. The tab on the bottom there to sand off, and then there's either this is the main, the nose gear. This looks like it might be the nose gear. That one could be the third leg. This one could be the nose gear. But yeah, obviously quite simple in 72nd scale, but you know, it's a good basis to work from, I guess. So what have we got in here? We have our windscreen, which looks quite nice. Doesn't look scratched or anything. Let's just find something here with some writing on, and we can see how clear or not it is. It's not bad. You can see in there it's not bad at all. So yeah, if it fits, it'll do a nice job. Give it a little polish, give it a dip in future perhaps. Put that back in there. And then here, this is going to be the screen for the boom operator, for the refueling. And then here we've got little landing lights and stuff, little tiny bits. So we'll grab another bag and put. Okay, so I've left those tail planes and that in the bag, but I've decided we'll have a look at these parts, because these are all the detail parts which clearly you want to see, don't you? So there's loads and loads of bits of resin all just slung in a bag. Blimey. Airy style, isn't it? So we have, that's the back half of our engines. Okay, and then we've got a cone that's going to go in there. That's all very nice. We've got our wheels. They look acceptable, don't they? So I'm going to dim this light because the resin's so... There we go. They look quite acceptable, don't they? There may be aftermarket wheels. I have to find out if another aircraft had the same wheels. If a 737 had the same wheels, which I very much doubt it did, then that would be cool. We've got lots and lots of wheels there, look. Wheels coming out of our ears. And then we've got nose wheel there. Again, very nicely detailed. We have engine pylons. So they're nice and big. There's no engraving on them. There's some cooling vents or something there. Very nice. Bits and pieces, some more engine parts there. More engine parts. There's a great big pylon. That's the tail, isn't it? That's where the engine's going to sit on there, and then the tail will sit on top of the engine. Lovely. It's got all the panel lines detailed. It worked in it. Lovely. Lovely. Pilot seat. They're nice. They're nice little seats, aren't they? Not bad at all. Bit of paint, some belts. They look lovely. That looks like a little fin for the boom, to control the boom. Not sure what that is. That's the instrument panel there by the look of it, and the centre console. Engine intakes, a bit basic, aren't they? But with a bit of a polished metal finish and some wash and stuff, that look great. More engine parts. That's the back half of the engine there. That's those, and then we've got, this is our boom. Has a slight warp in it. That'll be easy to sort out with hot water. So those fins are going to go on the ends of the boom, I'm guessing. Is that broken off? Not sure. Doesn't matter with resin if it's broken, I don't care. There's an arm broken off that chair there, look. It doesn't matter with resin because it's so easy to repair. As long as it's broken in the bag and not broken in the factory, and I don't have that bit, but I'll just replace it with a bit of plastic card, or I'll just make another mould of that seat. We've got 3 seats there anyway. I could have sworn that armrest was broken off. It's this one. No, I could have sworn that armrest was broken off. So we've got 4 seats there anyway. That looks like the APU exhaust. It's got some detail down inside there, which is very nice. More pylons and bits and pieces. Gear doors. They're nice and thin, aren't they? Nice and thinly moulded. Not sure if there's any reference materials for these. There's probably loads of walkarounds. That's some supports for the gear, with all the nice hole detail in there, which is lovely. More gear doors. Engine parts. Little finlets for something. I'm not sure where they go. There's a door, maybe the crew entrance door. And again, yeah, some little tiny fins. There's a control column there, which is nicely done. As I say, we can add a bit of detail to that cockpit quite easily. Just use some photo etch off of anything. But, yeah, very nice indeed. That's very nice. I'm happy with that. I know myself how long it takes to make moulds and stuff, and how long it takes to pour the resin and get the air out and cure it and all that. And I can assure you there's a hell of a lot of work gone into this. A hell of a lot. So, is it overpriced? No, I don't think it is. Because when you think about it, you know, you go out and buy a little resin conversion set, which may be a nose, a tail and a couple of winglets. Well, there's your nose. There's your tail top part there, and a couple of little bits of winglets or something there. Yeah, that could be £22. So all of this for 160, whatever it is a bargain, isn't it, really? I don't know if it's a bargain, but it seems reasonable in the scheme of things. So we're now confronted with more bubble wrap. Okay, so we have fuselage parts here. So here's a, oh, this is nice. Here's a nose section. Not twisted at all. Sitting nice and flat on there. It's got a bit of a hump in it there. It's a shame. I don't know if I can show you with the steel rule, but it's got a definite up and down on the fuselage. Oh dear. Oh dear, what have I done? I think the best thing to do is put some filler in there and then sort of just hope for the best really, but we've got all this raised detail on the cargo door and everything. Yeah, we shall see. There we go, so that's our front fuselage section there. Maybe with some hot water we could pull this about a bit and get the shape back, because it's not that thick. It's quite flexible. Look, won't be able to pull it about a bit. Perhaps clamp it down and put some steel bar inside it or something. There's got to be a way. Anyway, there's our port forward fuselage. Right, and then here we have. I see they're all individually wrapped in their own bubble wrap. And there's our starboard fuselage. That one's much better. So I'm not sure how these are going to go together. Yeah, this one flat, a little bit out, but nothing much. So that's going to go together like that. Here we go. There's only a little gap in the middle. What are you talking about? Oh dear, what have I let myself in for here? Anyway, there we go. I've got some 5-minute epoxy on order. I wouldn't trust super glue on all of this, but something I certainly would do, and you'll be seeing some video footage coming your way of adding tabs into fuselage to get it all going. But, yeah, the surface finish is lovely. I'm really pleased it's got all this panel detail on it. It looks really nice. But, I don't think there's too much trouble with it. Maybe I spoke too soon. We shall see. Here we have the starboard tail section. So that is basically going to go on there. So this is obviously part of the pour plug here. Oh no, okay, this is a flange. So what you do is you take away these triangular bits. They put those on it to stop the flange getting broken off in the box. So there is a flange, so we can get these fuselage halves together. And as you can see, once she's built up, she is, what's that, 12, 24, 28 inches long. So not too bad, not much bigger than a B-52 really. So it'd be great, wouldn't it, if you want to do an in-flight refuel on a B-52, you could get that on your bedroom ceiling. I'm sure your missus would love it. So there's the rear fuselage. That has a bit of a warp in it, to be fair, but it could be, actually no, it's because of that lump there, because of that pour plug there. So if I put that off the side of the bench, it's not too bad at all. So it looks like I've been lucky in that regard. And then we've got the same on this side. This is basically the starboard side, the port side. Again, not too bad at all. No point trying to put those together. We've got that great big core plug on there. But we've got the boom operator station there. Obviously this is going to be cut out and cleaned up. But yeah, we just got that one fuselage section there with the wavy top. But that'll just take some sand in. We can always put some strip back in to replace that detail. Luckily there's no sort of raised rivet detail or anything really fussy that's going to bother us. But we really want to get that straight because that's going to look bloody awful on the finished model otherwise. It really needs something in it as well to give it some rigidity, otherwise it's just going to sag over time. So there we are. Now we're on to our wings. So we've got our inner wing section here. So that's the inner starboard wing. So that's going to go in there like that. Okay, so you can see there's your wing root going into there, into the belly. So that's nice. And then we've got our upper wing. Okay, I can see how they've done this now. So you're going to fit that into there. So you've got a solid wing out here which feels as rough as old boots. It's like, it's all lumpy. It's got a big lump in it in the middle there. Either that or it's got a big sink mark in the outside. One or the other. And this is going to have to be reprofiled because that's all bowing the wrong way. So that's going to have some plastic put in there. The bottom section of the wing is concave as well. I'm guessing maybe it should be on here. What's this one like? This one is actually wedged into the box. Hopefully it's not damaged. Nope. And yeah, that one's concave as well, so they're obviously both supposed to be concave, I'm guessing. So there we are. So there's our wings. Little lovely panel detail on them. So yeah, that's going to go into there like that. Again, that one's also the wrong way round, so we're going to have to do some proper work to get this stay together. Blimey. This is all going to have to go into hot water and get pulled around. So yeah, if you want to see me build this, drop a comment down below, because I think it'll drive me around the absolute bend. But we shall see. We shall see. The other thing worth noting on here, if you look at the back end of a DC-1030, which is what the KC-10 is modelled on, this here isn't long enough. This needs to come way back. So I'm going to have to do some work there. I don't know if I'll cut that out and move it back and just put a straight piece in there, or if I'll take off mould off of this and then add a piece in there. I don't know. We'll see, but I got a feeling that's supposed to be right back to here. We'll have a look at some pictures. These stiffeners I hadn't noticed being that. They're obviously for the KC-10, because it only was a fuel tanker that had a boom and a drogue. It was also a cargo plane, so it could carry loads of cargo. You know, if they were coming from Farnborough, they could bring loads of stuff in here. They could refuel the B-52s halfway over if they had to, whatever. And yeah, fantastic job. It's a shame they've retired them, really, but I guess it's all about cost, isn't it? So there we go. So that has been a review of the Anigrand 1/72 scale KC-10. I got this one from Hannants. As I say, yeah, 2 left. There's only 1 left if you want to go and get yourself one. Not sure where else you get Anigrand from these days. But yeah. Funny enough, the guy who's built one over on Brit Model, I noticed his upper fuselage was a bit up and down. You can certainly see it there. If I put that straight edge along there, you can certainly see where my finger is here. It's touching. But I'm thinking if we put something steel in there, and brace it up, or a rod or something, brace it up, glue it in, have it nice and solid, it'll straighten it out, at least have the spine straight, and then we just fill in this area here. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It would actually be better if we could get the low spots to sit slightly high and then sand them back straight, wouldn't it? So maybe some hot water or sort of. The trouble is we don't want to get it in hot water and then find we've put loads of bow or twist or whatever into it. But I did notice as well, the guy on Brit Model built his, and when he looked end on, the fin was, the whole fuselage was twisted all the way down. It looks like a bloody nightmare. Right, so I think it would be a lot of fun to work with. Maybe I shouldn't start it because I'll probably never bloody finish it. Who cares? Who cares? Right, I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Okay, so here we are now, nearly a year later. If you look at this wing, this is what you've just seen in the video. I'm reminding myself because it was a year ago since I got this out. But, well, nearly a year ago. You can see it's not that big of an aircraft, really. It's going to be fairly large for a 72nd scale aircraft, but it's not as big as a B-52 as far as wingspan goes anyway. The fuselage is much fatter. So you can see here the way they've designed it. The wing has an upper section and a lower section. Now this has a bit of warpage in it. It needs some clean up on there to get it to fit. That's absolutely fine. Okay, we've got, a bit of clamping and gluing there. The biggest problem with this wing is it's totally distorted. And it's not just bone. I don't know if you can see that there, but it goes along and it steps up, and it's the same on the trailing edge. The biggest problem is the fact that the upper surface is concave. That's the biggest problem. That's why I asked for replacement parts. And he came back, and as I say, he told me that the moulds were finished, seen better days, so he was going to redo it. So I was expecting to get the same thing. Again, this came in the box, and I asked him if I could also have a replacement starboard forward fuselage section, because it was bowed. You saw it just now, seconds ago for you, a year ago for me, and he sent those as well. So here we have the box, and in here you can see there's a wing, there's another wing, and then in here we have both front fuselage sections, and they are lovely. Okay, So really nice, beautifully packaged, and yeah, thank you so much. What a wonderful response to a customer issue. You know, it's absolutely amazing how good they have been. So let's have a look at these wings. Let me get this box out of the way a minute. Let's have a look at these wings. So you can see here what he's done is not only remolded them, but he's completely retooled them. Okay, now you can see here on the old wing you have this section that comes out. What he's actually done is retooled them, and they're beautiful. I'm not sure about the surface detail comparison. Oh wow, look at the difference in there in the flap detail. It's absolutely gorgeous. On the underside, the undercarriage bay is now part of the wing, whereas it was two parts there. You can see the detail on here is beautiful as well. So I can only imagine, I can't imagine, should I say, how he's done this, but it's, look at it, it's beautiful. It fits together like a glove. Okay, we'll have a little seam there to sand out. The leading edge is nice and straight. The top edge, the top surface of the wing is an aerofoil shape, as it should be, and not concave. It is beautiful. It's some of the nicest casting I've ever seen. So well done to Anigrand for responding to a you know, to a customer issue. Absolutely astounding. You can see it here. If I take this fuselage section, you can see how it's going to look. Big old bird, but not that big wingspan wise. But as I think I mentioned in the video, I went to the Avon IPMS show last year. I go every year, and saw one of these. I think it was a vac form on display, and I thought, gotta have one of them. Gotta have one of them. Beautiful. DC-10, not my favourite aircraft, but I do like looking at them. So there we go. Just do a comparison actually of this fuselage. So you can see this one here is actually broken. It's actually broken there. I didn't notice that before, I don't think. But I don't think he's retooled the fuselage. Let's have a look at a comparison with the same side. I don't think he's retooled it, he's just remolded them for me. So you can see you've got the access door there. They've got some scribe detail on there. And it's all the same, nothing has changed. But there we go. So there we are, absolutely gobsmacked by the response. I can't believe those wings are beautiful. So thank you very much, Anigrand. And finally, I'm getting this review out. I completely forgot about it. I waited quite a while for these. It would have been, you know, sort of mid-August that I contacted them. And I think I waited till Christmas or something. And obviously he had to make up the tooling and everything. So he's obviously made the buck. Then he's, because he obviously hadn't used the same buck for this as he did for that one, because the detail's so much nicer. You know, when you look at the underside, you look at the scallop in the wing there where the flap comes out, it's just non-existent there. So it is much nicer. So obviously I had to make the buck and then make the mould and then cast them. And casting resin and keeping it that straight is incredible. So well done, sir. Right, so there we go. So if you want to get yourself one of these, get one, and then if when you get it you find your wings are like this, then contact Nigel and he'll give you the contact details, if you get it from Hannonsons, that is, and he'll give you the contact details, and you can see how that just would have been a complete and utter nightmare. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now.